everyone, Dr. Mak with another video today. We are talking about the comparison today. A lot of people still have doubts that should we do an online course or is on-site course the way to go? So in today's video, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of both and a comparison of online course versus on-site course. And what I genuinely feel is the one you should do, but at the same time, what works best for you. Let's talk in detail about it. All right, an online course versus an on-site course. Which one should we do? Cost-wise, we'll talk about as well. Benefits-wise, we'll talk about as well. And disadvantages of both, okay? First, let's talk about an on-site course. Everybody talks about on-site course, right? And they say this is the way to go. Online, they're always a bit confused. Let's talk about first the cost. How much are you gonna pay with an on-site course? Number one, you're gonna pay, looking at, depends on who's doing it. If someone has recently started and not very experienced, they might charge somewhere between $5,000 to $6,000, or looking at say about $8,000-9,000. Even I think the Melbourne one is the University of Melbourne, Royal College Melbourne is around, I think I've heard it's $11,000-12,000. I was even shocked when I heard it. But it ranges from $6,000-7,000 to $12,000 for a 3 weeks course, comprehensive course. Now, $12,000 to $6,000, let's take an average. Let's say $8,000 you're gonna pay. But at the same time, it's not just the cost. You might be living in another city, so you have to pay the accommodation, add for that as well. You have to pay for the flight, add for that as well. You have to pay for the food, add for that as well. At the same time, you will have to pay for additional, because you will not be working 3 weeks, right? That means you're losing money of your earning potential on those 3 weeks as well. So for example, if you earn on average, say about $500 a week, just give an example, and you're earning, for example, say about $1,500 for the 3 weeks, you'll be losing away that money as well. So on-site course means you have to pay the tuition. At the same time, you can't work during that time because you're doing the course. You have to pay for accommodation. You have to pay for flight. You have to pay for food. So all that you have to consider as well. Okay. So if I say a rough average, if you're paying an $8,000-9,000 course, that means you have to pay for the flight, add an additional, say about $500 to $1,000. You have to pay for food. You have to pay for accommodation for 3 weeks. Hell lot of expense out there, isn't it? At the same time, food and everything, living basically expense as well, which is not a lot, maybe like $20 or $30 a day, okay? Depends on your budget. So that's the cost wise. Now, second thing is with on-site course, the benefit is that you go in and you do everything in person. So people will be showing you a demo in person, and then you do it the whole day and someone assesses your work. We need to understand how an on-site course works. This is exactly how it happens. They show you a task first, and then you practice the whole day the same task, and someone is supervising you, looking at your work, looking at your mistakes, so doing assessment at the same time. It lasts for 2.5-3 weeks, depends on which one you're doing. You may be doing a 2 weeks course, you might be doing a 3 weeks comprehensive course that might include your communication as well, all the OSCEs included. That's the time when you come back home, you have got all the potential. Other thing we need to talk about is what benefits. Benefit of on-site courses, you get to connect with your mentor, okay? You get to, maybe one person you're following from a long time and you feel like, you know, I really like that person. I like his teaching style. I just believe in that person, that he's gonna be my mentor. Let me pass the ADC journey, which is your main aim at the end goal, right? ADC exam to be passed, right? You wanna pass it. So you wanna connect with that person one-to-one basis. The advantage out there is, yes, you get a bit of a personal touch because you get to see them in person. 100%, no doubt about it. And then, you know, you get to connect with them for the whole 3 weeks, which is quite significant in a way that, you know, one person you follow, you get to connect with them, you get to sit with them in person, you get to share your story, you get to learn from them. So it's a bit of a positive from your side. What are the disadvantages apart from the cost? Okay, disadvantages, in my opinion, is And what I personally felt after doing an on-site course, I did a very good 3 weeks on-site course. When I came back, what I realized was after 3 months to 2.5 months, I was lost. Now, where to go back? Because I finished the course, I cannot pay another $8,000. I had limited money, right? I can only do the one course. Once I finish, I'm by myself now. And that was my biggest struggle when I was doing my ADC journey. And that's, I feel like the biggest disadvantage is it's amazing, but at the same time, there's nothing to go back to. How after 3 weeks, if I want to connect with my mentor? How about 3 weeks if I have a confusion that you showed me the crown prep, but I don't remember the technique, what to do now? That is the biggest problem with the ADC exam format. You need repetition. You need continuous monitoring. You need continuous reviewing of the techniques. You need good revision again and again until you pass your exam. Otherwise, you might start at a very big high, at peak, and then you become like at a stage where you are like on a stage where you don't know if you're going up or down, because either you don't have anyone to assess your work. At the same time, you need more guidance. And that's where the ADC journey is so important, that you need continuous monitoring. How about you did an amazing attempt, but you still failed, but now your next attempt, and in 6 months time, what to do now? So pros of on-site course, amazing. You get to connect with your mentor. You get one-on-one settings. You get a lot more exposure, one-on-one, sitting with it. And then psychologically, it's a better feeling, right? If someone's sitting next to me and I'm talking to them and showing them everything, psychologically, they feel on a whole new planet that I got to learn from Dr. Mak in person. He showed me, he sat down with me. Even the motivation level is just on another level, because, it's 3 weeks, 2 weeks is a great time. Disadvantages, after 3 weeks, you're on your own. And then because it's so expensive, I've already spent over 10,000 with the flight, with the food and everything. I cannot do it again. That's one time only. Let's talk about an online course. Now, first of all, we need to understand is the whole world of education is changing. We have education with masters, PhD, one of the most amazing clinical courses out there. They are online now. Learning potential depends on the student, depends on the way the course has been designed, how clinically relevant the course is designed, what is the format of the course, and the person who's giving the teaching, have they actually compromised or not. This is the most important thing with online. If someone has done it well, you can actually get a lot of learning with online. And if you are motivated yourself, I know people who have passed the whole thing just by doing online. Because in an ADC exam, you will have a home setup at home. If I give you a lecture every day, 10 lectures a day, and you can come back and review your work to the pattern, come back and review the task 4 or 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, go back. It gives you an exposure on a whole new level than just seeing it once or twice. That's the thing that an advantage comes placing. Online course, let's talk about from the start so we can compare with the on-site course. First of all, let's talk about the budget. Cost of an online course, let's talk about my online course. Cost of an online course is 1/3 of a on-site course. Say about 9,000 on average or 8,000 for your course. If I talk about my 3 months course, you're looking at 3,200, which is 1/3 of the cost. So cost is 1/3 reduced. Okay. You don't have to pay for the flight. You don't have to pay for the accommodation. You don't have to pay for the food. Now look at the calculation there. So if I add back the money for my flight, add back the money for my food, add back the money for my accommodation that I don't have to pay, I don't have to skip my work. So I can do my work as well and balance with my work schedule what I'm basically doing. So that means it's not allowing me to hamper my work, not allowing me to stop my learning, but at the same time, it saves me a lot of money. So that $3,000 plus an additional $2,000 that you're going to pay on all that, you don't have to pay for that as well. So it's a major saving out there. Now let's talk about the experience. As I said, if someone has done a great work at technical and they've not compromised with the learning potential, how will they give you the teaching? Let's talk about an on-site course. What happens? And that's what I felt personally as well. If this is the tooth and I'm showing a tooth, and just imagine for a second there are 20 people standing behind me showing me the work. How many of you can see it? I've actually done it. I used to fly all cities of Australia to give demos. After 3 students, it gets really difficult because half of the people cannot see it, or it goes over their head because they feel it's, I can't see it. I'm not sure what this person is showing. Major issue. Now, in on-site courses, majority of the time when they realize that, if I'm doing the prep like this and the 20 people behind me, they won't be able to see it. So the people who can afford it, they bought a microscope. Now with the microscope, one person does it, everybody sees it on the screen. They see it on the screen, then they practice the whole day themselves, and one person is standing there and they're saying that, okay, you're doing this, you're doing that. But my question is, isn't it kind of like an online? That you're sitting on the sofa, watching it on the screen, and then you're doing the work someone's assessing for you. That's where my concern came, that with an on-site course, it's hard. Because I will tell you, in that 3 weeks, and that's what I tell everyone as well, that, for me, it's easy to show all the 6 technical tasks in 4 hours. But out of 10 people, only 2 will understand a good 80-90%. More than 90% of the people will understand 50% or less because there's too much information in one. That's the biggest thing. Majority of my students that have done my online course, they have done $8,000, $12,000. They have done big courses in the past. But now when they come to me, they've failed a couple of times, but at the same time, they don't remember how it was done. And they like the concept that with a 3-week subscription or a 6-month subscription, you have the guidance with me and you can review the technique again and again and again, and then still getting in touch with me and contact with me until you pass your exam, which makes so much of a higher value to them because they don't have to skip work. They do the course, they come back, practice at home, they do the online assessments with me, and then they go back and they decide that, oh, this crown is difficult for me, this margin is not happening, or the distolingual margin is difficult for me, or my taper is getting wrong, what to do? They come back to me, we discuss, and then they can review the whole crown prep video again. They can discuss the whole tips and tricks session again. They can discuss the whole communication role play again. And then they go back and practice, and then they have the chance to again come back and review the video. So I think that's the biggest advantage. Yes, you save a lot of cost that you can use it for something else. You can use for a communication course. You can utilize that money to pay for the fees. You can do so much else with getting higher value back. But at the same time, you get to review the work again and again. After finishing 2 weeks course, you're not by yourself saying, oh, I forgot everything. Compare a 3 weeks to 6 months or 3 months. If I show you the video 3 months again and again and again and again and again and again, then someone who's doing it, they get a chance to see the technique once. There is a major difference. And you will notice in technical, that's the major issue with everyone. They have done amazing work, but then they're always stuck at that one point and they don't know who will help them or how should they change their technique that it can actually fix their work. So they're stuck on their own. Now they don't have money to pay. Now they might have to go to another mentor and pay them extra money. That's the major issue. So cost-wise, you save a lot of money. With the experience, Something that Maxim Belograd said, and I learned from him because I felt this is an amazing way of teaching. Something called as a presence effect. When someone's sitting or standing behind me trying to look that, how is he doing it? Then you sitting in front of the plasma screen and actually seeing it, you can actually see with all the angles, all the techniques a lot more better, with a lot more performance, because you're sitting, you're not with a pressure of 20 different people. You're sitting there looking at the techniques carefully with your own comfort level. Allows you to have a performance and a presence effect that, yes, you're online, but it looks like you are literally sitting next to me and doing the whole learning. That's what I have tried my best to give everybody the learning, and that's what all the students say that who have done my courses. This online course is a game changer because I get to learn everything, even more than what I learned in the on-site course, because that one mentor could not focus on 20 people in 2 weeks, because that's my major issue with on-site courses these days. Or most of my students say that I went to an on-site course, but they had 30 people in one go, they had 15 people in one go, they had 20 people in one go. I wanted to connect with my mentor, but he didn't have time, or I only sat with him once for a couple of minutes. That's where the problem is, that you want to connect with the mentor and he doesn't have time because he's 20 students to teach. And when you focus on 20 in one, it's hard to focus on one person because you have to teach everyone. Another problem is that whoever on-site course you do, you have to be very careful saying that the person who you're actually going and paying the money for example, if you're coming to my on-site course, I don't teach at the moment on-site. Yes, I do on-site assessments and on-site technical. I don't have an on-site comprehensive course at the moment because I feel like online gives everyone a lot better value and teaching protocol with a high performance presence effect as well. I don't have that at the moment. But if for example, if you say that, I want to learn from Dr. Mak and I want to go to his on-site course, and if you go to the course and Dr. Mak is only teaching 2 days and the remaining days he has hired 3 other people who's teaching, I think at the end of the day, you might be a bit upset, not because they might be teaching wrong, but you didn't pay money for another person. Otherwise, you might have gone to another course, another cheaper course, or another course might have given you better value. You came here to learn from me. So you have to be really careful and ask people who are actually going to teach that, are you going to teach me all the days or someone else is going to teach me? When I'm doing my work and practicing the whole day, are you going to come and supervise and assess my work, or have you hired 2 other people who have just recently passed the exam and they're going to be assessed the whole thing for you? Because that's a biggest problem out there. And technically it's impossible. If I open an on-site course tomorrow, it's difficult for one person to focus on 20 people, right? I have to divide my attention to make sure everybody gets experience. So everybody gets a little experience. I can't give everything to everyone. So then I have to hire 3-4 people who are going to be doing and sharing the learning with everyone. That's the major concern. So making sure you get to connect with your mentor, but will you be able to connect with your mentor? Will he be the one, like you go to Dr. X's course and he's teaching 2 days, remaining his colleague or someone who has recently passed the exam is the tutor there now, and she's going to be assessing, or he's going to be assessing your work 90% of the course, and he's going to be teaching you. I feel like it's a bit unfair to a lot of people out there. So on-site course gives you a higher value in a way that you get to connect with your mentor. But at the same time, if you don't get to connect with your mentor, then is it going to give you that higher value? Or is it better to save that money and get the online experience where you get to save, you don't have to skip work, you earn money at the same time, and you save a lot of money and get a bit of higher value in a way that you have the repetition, you need to review, you can learn everything. So this is what you need to understand as well. An on-site course is 3 weeks in, someone standing with you, someone sitting with you, An online course is you're sitting on the screen, you have all the content and you're still connecting with someone doing the assessments. It's a different pattern of learning. You have to decide which course works for you, which comes in your budget, and what strikes you more. I have to tell you one thing. It depends on the student. If you're passionate about the learning and you have the driving energy, in my opinion, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you do on-site and if you do online. It's all about you. People who can learn and they want to learn, they can do everything and pass the exam by online. They can do everything and pass the exam by on-site as well. So depends on what you're looking for. I would say find a mentor you trust. Find a mentor you like their teaching style. Find a mentor you feel like, some connection I feel with them. They are the ones you should pick for your ADC journey. And before you go to any course, even an online course or an on-site course, make sure you talk to the person who's teaching. I did an implant course recently in Egypt. It was a marathon. It's an amazing course. And I was a bit doubtful, should I do this course? Because marathon happenings all around the world, right? It happens in Brazil, it happens in India, it happens everywhere else, right? A lot of people. It happens in Colombia, Brazil. And I liked the Egypt course, but I was not sure about the mentor. Is he going to teach and all? So I messaged him on Instagram that I would like to talk to you. And he gave me the time. I talked to him and learned about the course. He told me about how he's going to teach and how it's going to work. And then I was psychologically ready and, to go to that course. And I felt really amazing after doing that course. I would like you to do the same. Whichever course you want to do, talk to the person who's going to teach. Is he going to teach or his student is going to teach? Or someone who has recently passed the exam who they've just hired because they don't have time, is he going to teach? What's the value? What's the course pattern? You have to talk to that person. It's a bit of an investment. It's the most important investment out there you're doing. So talk to the person teaching. Now, if you feel like that person doesn't have time to even talk and explain you, then biggest concern there is, will he have time during the program to sit with you and do that? Or is he going to teach 20% and you're left with that 80% with a person who you're not paying to be learned from? So this is something that you need to weigh the pros and cons. So I would personally say whenever you pick a course, any course out there, you have to look at your budget, how much money you have, how much money can you spend, how much value is it giving back? That's number one. Number two, you have to understand as who's the mentor you want to get guidance from. How much will he be available to teach you? How much time is he going to give it to you? How much time is he going to, give value to you? Is he will be the one doing everything or someone else is the one? And if there's a bit of a mix with the teaching, that who is that and how much is it? If Dr. X is teaching 20%, as 80% is being taught or supervised by another person, then you have to weigh that, are you going to trust that person or are you comfortable after all that someone else doing the learning and you being there, which is very important. Or it has to be crystal clear, black and white from day one. At the same time, you need to have a conversation with the course coordinator or the person ideally teaching, who have to tell you that this is what I'm doing, this is going to be the learning experience. Then you get to decide. And with this, it's less about the brain, more about the heart. A lot of people look from their mind and they say, no, this is going to give me a better value. This is cost effective. This is going to be the good learning. I like that mentor. I like his style of teaching. I'm going to go with that. A lot of people go with the heart. There's always that one mentor you always follow and you feel like, this guy is the one. I need that person, and you do it. So look at all those aspects. Look at, for example, is it in your same city or you have to go to another city? How much of the value you have to give back to gain what you gain as well. And at the end of the day, if you feel like it's still not working out, they still have to go for something, right? But doing that, doing a bit of a blueprint out there, bit of a research out there on the paper and conversation with everyone, at least tomorrow when you do a course, you will not have that headache later that, I wish I could have done that course. I wish I could have not done that course. I wish I did that course. You won't have that because you already had a conversation with everyone. You did your research. I would personally say it's always an investment. So do some research first. Okay. Again, they both have their own benefits. Online has its own, on-site has its own. They both are good. They both give you the learning. They both have their pros and cons. So you can pass the exam doing both. You just have to pick which is right for you. Hope that video is helpful for you and will give you a bit of a clarification or a bit of releasing the confusion out there to a lot of people and giving them a clear path that which course should they do. See you all with another video. God bless everyone. If you have any questions regarding ADC exams, or if you have always that worry, comment below. Let us know about, what's happening. If you'd like to personally talk to me, that the two ways of contacting with me, one is my Instagram, Dr. Murtaza Mak. You can message me with a detailed message about your experience and where are you at your journey, which level are you at, what sort of background have you done in the past, background work, and where are you stuck in your journey now, and how would you need guidance. Or you can message us on our ADC page, ADC Help with Dr. Mak. Dream project, you can message us again, details about your journey, what have you done in the past, where are you struggling, and I will get back to you. Either way, Instagram is something that only I do everything, so it's a bit easier for me to get back to you, but Facebook is something I always assess and always check as well. So two means of contacting me, and then we'll see you next time with another video. God bless you all. Why online? An online course provides you with the freedom to get the learning wherever you are in the world. How many times this has happened to people that they do the on-site course and it's an amazing course, but when they come back after 2 weeks, they don't remember now how the crown prep was done, how the contact was supposed to be secured. In that way, with an online course, you get to review the videos again and again. Even after 2 months time, when you feel that you're really comfortable doing the procedures, you can still review that one point which was not clarified at the first time. While doing the assessments and staying with your journey, regular contact with us until you pass your exam.